He got all them girls shook. My big fat ass got all them boys cooked. We're from dollar bills, now we popping rubber bands. Bruno sang to me while I do my money dance. Like, hey. Flexing on the gram like, hey. Hit the Lil Jon, okay. Oh yeah, we dripping up.
Welcome back to the Lewis Basketball Network. It is your boy Lewis, and I'm back once another one with another banger with yet another video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to share this video. It only helps the channel grow. And as you can see, Daryl Morey said enough is enough with this Houston Rockets team. We are putting these guys on the trade block, even James Harden. So I said Rocket trade rumors, James Harden, Chris Paul, and picks available in the right deal as long as with Clint Capela. So following another disappointing postseason exit, Rockets general manager Daryl Morey says he is going to reportedly clean house. He is looking at even possible scenarios to improve his team next season. Per ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, you know when it's Woj, you already know it's official. My man, Woj the GOAT. So Morey has made his entire roster and future draft picks available in trade talks, a dramatic initiative with hopes of reshaping his team into a championship contender. My question is, which of these players do you guys think is the best tradable piece? The issue with Chris Paul is he's just turned 34 years old, and the Rockets are eating a lot of money from him. With the Clippers doing that sign and trade, they were smart, and the Rockets were not that smart in picking him up. You could say, well, again, in the short term, without Chris Paul, he was 1 win away. They were 1 win away from going to the NBA Finals, forgetting that Andre Iguodala was injured. And I said that the Warriors would have beat the Rockets in 5 games had Iguodala not got injured. So yeah, so you gotta include that as well. You can't just leave that part out. That's called revisionist history, leaving Iguodala, forgetting his injury. Chris Paul may be more important to the Rockets because the thing is he's the superstar player, but you can't ignore the intangibles that Andre Iguodala brings to the Warriors. That's why he is very valuable. So you can't just ignore that, ladies and gentlemen. So, including all players rating MVP James Harden and Chris Paul are potential trade candidates. Woj didn't know the deal for Harden is believed to be limited, but the rest of the roster could be moved under the right circumstances. My question is, who's going to really eat that contract? That's what I want to know for Chris Paul. The Rockets are set to pay 10 players $123.6 million next season if everyone with an option and a non-guaranteed deal returns. So the Athletic and Stadium reported more than 2019 last month that the 2019-20 cap is at 109. Being triggered at $132 million. So Paul and Harden are set to make $76.65 million combined next year. So his deal, Chris Paul's, would be the most likely to get away from because he has the larger contract between him and James Harden. And he's owed $79 million over the next 2 years. And remember, in his last year, in the last of his contract year, he has $44.2 million with a player option for the following season in 2021-2022. So given his age, right, injury history, and it's declining, I told you, he didn't play well in the postseason. It says it right there, 15.6 points and shot just below 42%. So it's going to be that much more difficult for a team taking his contract. I feel like Chris Paul should not be playing so many minutes neither, and the ball should have been in his hands more. But Capela has 4 years, $90 million on his deal, so only 25 years old. He's productive right until if you can't use him as a pick and roll or a lob threat, he really can't do nothing else. He was neutralized in the series against the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors took that lob threat away from him, and he was really pretty much rendered useless in that entire series. So there was no way to really leave him on the floor, which caused D'Antoni to play much more of a small lineup. And he was sitting in most minutes of the fourth quarter. D'Antoni would put him like with little time remaining. So, but he's also a traditional back-to-the-basket center in a league that doesn't value those players the way it once did. But they're saying that, but Capela doesn't even have a move. He doesn't have a go-to move. He really doesn't have skill. He doesn't really have a post game. So to say that he has a back-to-the-basket, he really doesn't have a post-up game. So that doesn't make any sense. So the Rockets clearly have to make changes after being eliminated from the playoffs by the Warriors in each of the past 2 seasons. This year had to be particularly frustrating for Houston because it seemed like things were set up for the team to get over that Golden State-sized hurdle when KD strained his calf in the third quarter of Game 5. All I heard Rockets fans was like, we're going to knock out the Warriors. We're going to knock out the Warriors. The Houston Rockets have such a low IQ team, and they have peace. They made it difficult for the Warriors, but their lack of IQ, especially When it comes to executing down the stretch of games is why I just said that they were not a championship team. Their lack of IQ was going to prevent them from winning a championship. That's why I said I didn't even trust them last year against LeBron James in the 2018 NBA Finals. I said because they were saying, well, there was no way he would beat them but they were a better team last year. So it's a possibility, but I felt like that lack of IQ was going to come into play at some point. Then LeBron beats Harden and Paul, and we will be glorifying LeBron James as the greatest of all time, according to LeBron fanboys. So, that's the thing when we look at it. So it says that the Rockets are going to make any significant roster changes this summer. They're going to have to come through trades because, exactly, all those contracts, they really don't have any flexibility, man. So to Daryl Morey this is what happens when you play the analytics game instead of trying to build your team the right way, because you looked at it and it's like, well, analytics will tell you could beat the Warriors. It backfired. Had you really learned how to play team ball, move the basketball that D'Antoni should have done, instead he just thought those ISO shoot threes were going to beat him. I mean, and you could even look at the owner of the Rockets was talking about, we're going to beat him. You're so focused on the Warriors. How about trying to improve your team? And I would have not brought Mike D'Antoni back. I would have fired him, to be honest with you. I would have fired him. Because his delusional ass really thought that style of play was going to beat him. Every time you hear Mike D'Antoni in interviews, he doesn't really talk X's and O's. He's like, we just got to pick it up. I mean, we got to do better. It's like he never tells you no really strategy. And the crazy part is when the Warriors beat the Rockets, what did he say lost the game? Defense, something that he's not known for. He said our defensive principles. It wasn't just defense. Their late game execution in the fourth quarter, horrible. The shot selection, just horrible. They didn't even move the ball. There was no ball movement. It was just everything was just one-on-one. And Harden just with some lazy turnovers. So Harden saying, we know what to do, but it's looking real gloom for the Rockets. They took on too many contracts, and now the thing is, what team is going to really give them what they need? If Daryl Morey could find a way, he could find a way, but I don't know how it's going to work. So Houston has a lot on their plate to try to figure out. But anyway, once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is your boy Lewis back with another one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of this whole Rocket situation. Who do you think should get traded for the Rockets if the Rockets are really going to try to improve their team? And if they get traded, what team do you think would most benefit Chris Paul or James Harden or Clint Capela in terms of what can they get back? It just looks the trade value is not looking great for them because of, like I said, how much money they make. But we'll see what happens. So let me know what you guys think. As always, man, bless up. One love. Peace. Thanks for watching. DJ. Yeah, man? Do that same old thing you always do, man. Hit that.
Jump around, grab a rebound and pump the sound. Big Ron, big man's in town. Razzle, yo, and I dazzle. Or should I say dunk like Jordan, I pump, double platinum, yo. I'm taking them to the loop until it's time for me to go. So I suggest you sit back and